All right. Hello, friend. Welcome to BISP My name is Amit, and today I'm going to talk about my analysis on various data analytics and data science certification. So, for 2024, which certification is good for your career as a working professional? I did an analysis of over 10 certification across different vendors. During this course of this series of the video tutorial, I'll be talking about pros and cons of various certification based on my research. My research comes with 22 years of experience in data science, in data warehousing, business intelligence, and ETL process. So I use my all experience to assess the value or the worth of the certification. Okay. So first, today we start with first assessment of first certification from a company called Inform, and they have two certification program. First one is called Certified Analytics Professional, and second one is called Associate Certified Analytics Professional. Today I'm going to talk about the CAP program. Okay. So what is good thing about this program? So like any other vendor, they also provide certification on data analytics on certain topics. So first thing which drawn my attention is that this is not a vendor specific or technology specific certification. It's a neutral. What does it mean? So suppose you work on some vendor specific product, let's say IBM or Microsoft, and they appear for their certification. So your knowledge is limited and confined to a specific vendor and technology. And the kind of industry we are living into today, the customer is continuously hopping on from one technology to another technology, one vendor to another vendor because of various reasons. Cost is one of the important factor, and other business reasons like acquisition and merger. In my view, one should not spend too much time and money acquiring certification exclusively from one vendor, especially domain like data analytics and data science. So you should appear for the certification with one primary reason: it is technology and vendor neutral program. Second thing which I liked about this program is the way the program was constructed. Seriously beautiful. On one hand, other vendor, when they plan a certification program, the focus is all about promoting their own product, right? Naturally, if I'm a vendor for certain product, I'll promote my product first. That is my primary objective. And my objective is to prepare resources and a consultant who know my product very well. Whereas the certification program from Inform has a different approach. They talk about the entire solution stack. So any project when you start working, right, has to have certain business problem. So they have beautiful coverage of problem framing. So framing starts with when you talk to your business user, they talk about what type of problem they want to address using data analytics or data science, right? So, for example, you are working for a financial domain and your customer is struggling with, you know, maybe credit card fraud or credit card or some transaction. They like to identify whether it is genuine or they are fraud. It is a very tiny and common use example. But in real world, there are more scenarios into sales, procurement, vendor management. There are so many areas. So when you start your learning by identifying business problem and articulating it very well, documenting very well, this is a right way of solving any problem. When you're growing up in your career ladder, this is a skill you need. Okay. Obviously, you need a programming skill, but a good programmer has to be a good analyst as well. Second thing, the way business users are going to articulate the problem to you may be in a raw format, may not be in a format which you can use it. You need to reorganize the problem statement in a well-defined manner. Every problem has a measurable solution, right? So framing a problem from an analytical mindset is important. In simple word, you create a beautiful Excel-based stories, user stories where you articulate the problem. Then you need to have a data, right? What is source of data? So in a business scenario, source of data come from ERP, customer relationship management, CRM, SCM, supply chain management, payroll, employee, or maybe a live feed data. Let's say you have a e-com portal, and from very famous e-com portal, and different people are, visiting your website. You like to capture their information and put it into one data lake. So the data is that is the data. It could be raw or semi-structured data. Then probably you have got multiple ways to solve the problem. You will be identifying methodology selection, methodology, right? So this certification program has a beautiful coverage of methodology selection as well. Then you build a dimension, then you build a model on top of that, whether it is on a structured data coming from database or data warehousing through SQL, or semi-structured data on flat file or some other sources, mainframe or live feed or various social networking site. So you do model building and you do assessment of the model. You deploy and follow the assessment of the model, right? Because the kind of solution we are working on has always a room for, you know, improvement. So this is an iterative process. This is an iterative process. So at no point you can say your model is the best, and you keep trying to improve the model efficiency, right? So as you train your data, you get better value out of it. Okay, so this is an iterative process. So as I was talking about, the key differentiator in this training program is and certification is the application of your knowledge, not a knowledge only, right? So you see the application of a knowledge into different segment. The one case which I kept into my PPT, I found it very appealing and used extensively. Okay, so there are a lot of transaction take place. Maybe the source of a transaction through credit card. Okay, so you find certain anomalies. Anomalies mean as a user or a owner of a credit card, you do certain type of transaction. You have a certain pattern, right? You don't go. Suppose you are living in India today. You did a transaction of 100,000 rupees, and tomorrow the transaction has been recorded from some other geographical location. This is an anomaly because you do transaction in India and suddenly one transaction recorded from different geographical location, or your transaction range come from 5,000 to 20,000 rupees. This kind of transaction you do, the transaction range, but suddenly there's one transaction, appears with 200,000 rupees, 2 lakh rupees. This is anomaly, right? Such anomalies we can capture and figure out and detect based on various rules whether the transaction appeared to be a genuine or fraudulent transaction. So there's a beautiful case study available on top of that. Next thing, the another key differentiator, where other certification program is just another way. So when you go to Udemy or some other online website, people are giving certification at 400 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, whatever you want, right? And they are not concerned about whether you really acquire that knowledge or not. There is no checkpoint. There is no checkpoint, right? However, in this certification program, Inform is very particular about it to ensure they produce quality resources. So first of all, this is not for beginners. This certification program is for working professional. So the criteria given over here, if you have 2 years of experience with master degree, option one, 4 years of experience with bachelor degree, which is 16-year and 14-year education, 15-year education in Indian context, or 8 years of working experience in material of your education, right? Since your job is like a consultant, not like a developer, so in this job profile you have a significant amount of communication. You communicate to your business users, stakeholders, your peer, your manager, your subordinates. So communication is utmost important. So you need some kind of, a letter from your employer stating that you possess communication skill of certain level, right? And obviously you have ethics and exam. This classification of 7 key areas which this certification program talk about is again beautifully organized: problem statement, articulating problem and organizing in a very meaningful way, giving adequate attention to your data so that you identify patterns, trends, you can do that. And methodology selection, model building, and so on. Right? So it means your focus area is not just learning a different types of algorithm, program, function, coding. That is secondary. Primary is understand the problem statement and apply your knowledge over here. So it is important to talk about how much money you need to spend into this. Okay, you're going to spend. So it's subject to in which country you live. If you're living in India, you get a discount or subsidy. Okay, kind of. So in India, fall under developing country. Therefore, inform give you some subsidy in the training examination fees. So the fees detail is given over here, and the same you can get it from Inform website. So link I'll be sharing across at the end of the train at the end of the webinar. So for you, if you're living in India, it will cost you 220 USD. Otherwise, for other people, it is 440 USD. So you have one time $55 and 220 USD. In my view, investing this money into your career is really worthful, right? Meaningful. Because the more you spend in your learning, you get a professional membership. Once you get a professional membership, you're always in touch what is happening in industry. Since our job require constant learning, continue to upgrade yourself with what is happening in industry. So it is important to be a part of certain professional group, or you should have membership, right? So subject to your interest, but since I personally take a membership of multiple professional forums, I constantly update my knowledge. When I talk to my customer, I should always present that I am updated with the new technology and events happening in the industry. And the same thing expected from a working professional. Yeah. Another area which draw my attention as I keep talking about, since I'm a working professional, right? Industry practitioner. So when I take interview from candidates, I look my focus area is on their approach, not on their programming primary approach. Their problem solving skills, right? How do they perceive the problem? What analytical mindset they have? So first part is naturally lecture, where you understand various algorithm, methods, functions. Second time you apply your knowledge you through different use cases or case studies, right? And you can pick up any domain, like let's say you have a working experience into sales, you can pick up the cases from sales, marketing, procurement, HR, warehouse management, a lot of areas, right? And then the certification program encourages you to do adequate hands on a tool. So we have a tool time as well, right? Finally, this is a little more detailed view, right? In this whole certification and training program, broadly you are going to learn prescriptive method, which you probably already know that different types of linear or integer regression, non-linear regression, different programmings, right? Different regression method, different simulation method, different classification, clustering. All you're going to learn it. You learn and you apply the knowledge. So when you go for an interview or a client discussion, right? People are expecting you to know what problem you solved, how confident you are in your past project, what was your contribution to the project, what problem you faced, how did you solve the problem, what is your approach, what documentation skill you have, what type of testing you apply, how much volume of data you handle, right? People are only interested to know about these factors. So you get to know by applying your knowledge. For example, in one of the use cases, we would be working on amortization schedule, amortization schedule, where we're calculating, interest rate, principal, and all this thing. And based on that, we'll perform certain prediction. Certificate, when you prepare for a certification, along with that, we'll talk about that use cases. And believe me, it's a serious value addition. Okay. These are the certain area where you can apply your knowledge, right? My inclination, since I work extensively into banking and especially into investment banking, Then my inclination more on finance, but you have other areas where you can do like highly value added area, high in demand, like algorithm trading, financial advisory, customer retentionship, product profitability, vendor management. So many areas you can apply your knowledge. Right? And finally, once you have all you collected, all this knowledge, you appear for certification, you're certified. Then it's a credibility in the market that your profile, you possess data analytics certain skill, right? And naturally your compensation is higher, isn't it? So cumulatively, you would be equipped with these basic skills. Naturally, on top of requirement gathering, you would be knowing how to collect data from disparate sources, data acquisition. You have designed and maintain your database and system. You analyze and interpret data into the decision into the format which where decision making can be done, right? So knowledge of advanced mathematics and statistics will help you a lot in this case, especially when you're driving a trends and preparing a pattern and data visualization skill, right? So industry, on one hand, people say there's scarcity of job, but I speak to my stakeholders, I speak to business, my partners, my colleagues, my friend. I find all of them, they complain a common thing. There are a lot of profiles. When we circulate the job opportunities, we have got 200, 300 profiles, but when we start filtering them, we start interviewing them, we hardly find one or two candidate, and that too not super highly value added, moderate. We still have to compromise with our expectations, and we find one or two candidate. So I'm sure you understand what is happening in industry and how you know confront this problem and secure a better job opportunity. Next is two-step, activities. How BISP is going to help you out doing this job. Will helping you out with entire application processing, right from creating your account to submitting your application to how to prepare for an interview and certification. So you're doing you're achieving multiple, what you call activities in one go. You're appearing for certification, you're applying use cases, your knowledge, you are gaining a knowledge on the respective technology or programming. Cumulatively, you are getting industry ready according to the current job requirement. So that's it for today. This certification training is like a sharing of my experience, not just like a learning additional training program. Should you have any question, please feel free to BISP Solutions and BISPtrainings.com. Thank you.